You can have your phone on, but it must be on airplane mode. No messages can come in, no contact with the world outside this room. There can be no alcohol. In the weeks following the hurricane, alcohol was banned. So if you have a drink, put it aside. Unless necessary, do not consume anything during the performance. No food, no water. You may close your eyes. You may draw closer to those you love. You may cry. If possible, do not leave this room. There is a curfew after the hurricane. We are not supposed to be here. Those you care for outside this room are not allowed to know you are alive. If you have citizenship, you must suspend it. You must, for this amount of time, renounce it. You can do this in silence, as it has been done in silence for centuries. You may exist, but only to those closest to you will know it. Somewhere near you, someone is dying. Somewhere near you, someone doesn't know if you are dying. You are not allowed to say anything but, "Estamos bien," or "Puerto Rico se levanta." You are only allowed to ask for help, but to the person sitting next to you, you are only allowed to be grateful. You may interrupt me, but not with words. You must treat water bottles like they are gold. You are drinking gold. I look for you, my friend, but do you look for me? Hooray for the riffraff, pa'lante. Sigue tu camino, que sin ti me va mejor. Bad Bunny, soy peor. Hey gringo, if you love death so much, why don't you marry it? One of my many beloveds says, "Why do they only want us when we are grieving?" And I say, when are we not grieving? Not to be all suffering and pain define me. But when am I not holding back tears or yelling until I drop and you just go on, whatever being a word I stole from yours to say numb enough to kill? Just kidding, feds, just kidding. The world is broken enough that if you murder me, I may or may not be remembered. It has come down to needing to remove the body and cry in peace on a full stomach. But really, isn't this all just hell, also known as a line, also known as forever delaying our ability to touch? I will never forgive you. Stop trying. I will never love you, no matter how many times you threaten not to love back, because the trick is your threat hides your offer to withhold what you never had. Bluff after bluff, called imperial hustle. This is a sealed object, even when you think it's for you, even when you open the pages like readers trapped by the eternal, you dust. You gone. Deadbeat America, you've been riding our horses into the ocean and driving us over cliffs since I had a history. You win and I lose. You live and I die. You vote and I don't. Color this without color. This is what we do. The monsters you shoot in your sleep. May we survive another night in the shadows. 64 equals 4,645. Porque a veces la matemática, en cualquier idioma, nos miente o nos dice la verdad. Terrorism is whiteness pointing towards the mirror's frame. Esto está cabrón. Citizenship as prerequisite for empathy. Como con hambre vieja. Treachery as violation of the contract. Se me está partiendo el corazón. Love is numb or else nullified. No paro de llorar. That depends on how loud you laugh. No puedo llorar. Colonialism. No tengo ni una foto suya. He threw paper towels into the crowd as a humanitarian gesture. No es una vida normal. Our as in ally, yours as in mine. Realmente necesita las hormonas. The hospital has been shut down because of the stench of corpses. Finalmente llegó hasta tu tío. She needed electricity for the machine to breathe. Esto está como The Walking Dead. She died, her body in the house for weeks. Duermo con un cuchillo debajo de la almohada. He cut to the front of the line, was shot. Las filas son interminables. There have been 9 reported suicides since the hurricane. Duermo aquí esta noche sin gasolina. That time we existed because we were dying. Abrió Plaza Las Américas. Help. Filas. Every word you read kills us. Y filas, y más filas. The airline won't fly out food. There is no profit. No llegan las cosas a los pueblos. The airlines offer tickets for $50 if you want to leave home forever. No existe un mundo post-huracán. If you don't accept my love, you're just like 45. Pidieron que llenáramos el formulario por internet. Unreachably trapped here, there. Llegamos a San Juan, pero no estaba. A whole ocean. La playa está totalmente destruida. FEMA box contains 1 can of beans, 1 packet of cookies, 1 oatmeal bar, a small rice box. No duermo. An empty white box, a coffer or a coffin. Hola, mi amor. Trauma as in every day. Fuimos al río a buscar agua. Trauma as in centuries. Finalmente tengo señal. I'm sorry por todo lo que sigues perdiendo. Let us know how we can help. Help. I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through. Lo que no nos hace falta es el paternalismo. I have no words. No pude irme todavía. She left me a message this morning. Cancel the flight. Queremos asegurarnos que no termine en la calle de nuevo. Crying. Cuando le dije que era de Puerto Rico, me dio esta mirada. Margarita de guayaba, salt along the rain. Me preocupan los animales. Selling donations. Pasen si quieren recoger libros. What is the record if not a scar as long as a coffin filled with mud? Hasta las 5. Loan as in debt relief. No duermo porque el vecino no apaga el generador. Relief as debt. Sin contaminación lumínica, con contaminación rosita. Grief, that delayed flight. Casi no pude verte. Puerto Rico, translation, death by port. Si te visito, temo beber de tu agua. A fissure opens in the Jones Act just long enough to add sealant. Una vecina trajo comida. Solar-powered coping. La papa cruda sabe un poco a pepinillo. Nota para una amiga que desea suicidarse después del huracán. Nadie nos enseña a aceptar la muerte, porque la muerte, esa muerte de la tita, queda vacía en nosotros, el gran hueco del carajo que nos quiere devorar. Nadie nos dice cómo podemos integrarnos al nuevo mundo imposible del mañana, cómo se supone que evitemos caer en el círculo perfecto de una ajera permanente que llamamos darle cara al día. Mano, ¿cómo no entenderlo? Esa es la pregunta que evito con el fervor organizativo de un equipo de rescate que nunca llega, pero te voy a decir esto. Después del deseo, no siempre viene la muerte. A veces te encuentro por la calle y brillas como astro o como lámpara solar, pero igual vales más que todos los generadores. Por si no te lo han dicho 1000 veces. Y otras veces sin tilde y otras veces me llegan tus palabras como una recaudación de fondos que explota y temporaliza la verdad. Como un aguacate espachurrado en la acera, verde gris de tanto amar. Nos toca primero encontrar contestaciones mejores que estas mierdas automáticas. No lo digo por añadir responsabilidades, sino para que sepas que, hermana, el intento de matarnos viene desde adentro como último refugio de un colonialismo cobarde. Vente para acá, que te doy comida y albergue mientras la tenga, que te añoño y te duplico los abrazos. No podré sanar lo insoldable, pero ¿qué mundo sería este sin ti? ¿Qué mundo este que te acosa? Sin rescate, hablemos del futuro. Ni realista, ni visionario, hablemos del futuro porque lo encontramos en la alfombra carcomida, en el té de campanilla, en el buenos días hay café de un abrazo confuso y sincero. Tenemos cama y memoria, tuya para siempre, Raquel. Note for a friend who wants to commit suicide after the hurricane. No one teaches us to accept death because death, death stays empty inside. The great hole of fuck it that wants to devour us. No one explains how we can become part of the impossible new world that is tomorrow, or how we are supposed to avoid falling into the perfect and permanent under-eye circle we call facing the day. Mana, how not to understand. That is the question I avoid with the organizational fervor of a rescue team that never arrives. But I'll tell you this, desire isn't always followed by death. Sometimes I run into you in the street and you shine like an orb or a solar lamp, but you are still worth more than all the generators in case you haven't been told 1,000 times, other times without tilde, other times your words reach me like a fundraiser that explodes and temporalizes truth, like an espachurrao, squashed, flattened, spread aguacate on the sidewalk, green-gray from so much loving. You first have to find better answers than these automatic things. I don't say this to add responsibilities, but rather so that you know, sister, that the attempted murder comes from within, like the last refuge of a cowardly colonialism. Come here and I'll give you food and shelter while I have it. Getañoño will cuddle, spoil, hold, and rock and sing you, and will duplicate the hugs. I can't heal the fathomless, but what kind of world would this be without you? What kind of world is this that harasses you? Without rescue, let's speak of the future. Not as realists, not as visionaries, let's speak of the future because we will find it in a moth-eaten rug in the tea of the drunken tree. In the buenos dias, there is coffee of a confused and sincere embrace. We have a bed and we remember. Yours forever, Raquel. For a moment, in the rapid collapse, I felt I was dying. Ayer volvió la luz, but I was still alive. Hoy se fue de nuevo. In the river, I left my wallet. In the river, the keys. In the river, my door. In the river, a body uncounted. In the mud, a river. Si de la tierra nacimos, a la tierra retornamos. Si de la luz nacimos, hacia la luz retornamos. Si del fuego aprendimos, si del fuego. Okay. Broken on time's wheel, como pasa el tiempo. How far will we go to believe we will save everyone with a box of rice and beans? Should I forgive myself for the cruelty I showed when I was most beaten down, clawing up the walls of my heart with an ice pick? I saw over an arm that reached down to me from the edges of my chest, saw your face, a sudden burst of hot water in the winter air. The pick pierced your hand, and the pick was my hand, a long nail reaching out of my flesh into yours until you were wounded. I did that because I have been living at the bottom of this heart, eating the ashes of my ancestors and the children I bore in silence. I promised them a whispered vengeance. You'd been living in the outside world, seeing films, laughing, being overworked, living, paying bills. How could I just move on? I'm sorry for the things I said when I was broken that autumn when so many of us were killed and cremated. I'm sorry I said you didn't care. Spit in the cactus and broke a plate against my chest when you weren't looking. I'm sorry I was afraid to burn a flag because I had nowhere to return. Instead, I cut across the sheets, planting red seeds in the cupboards. A 107 days. We don't accept Puerto Rican IDs. La labor pedagógica diaria. Flashlights scanning lots filled with debris, searchless. Entre la metro y la isla. Under the covers. Debajo de la cama. Not a single blue tarp in heaven. Pero sobran cielos pláticos en el paraíso. Thank you. Thank you for coming. There's Valento. Okay, Valento. There's one last part of the night, very, very brief. This is not working. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so there's one last part of the night. Thank you so much for coming and being part of this. This book means a lot to me still, and it's still hard to read. I don't often perform from it. But I guess I'll have to now, huh? And the final part, oh my God, it's so slow. Where's the final part? Mira!